What's going on, everybody? It's Gareth with FCP. Today, I'm going to be taking through the steps on how to do spark plugs on a 2006 325xi. This process is going to be very similar on any 3 Series made from 2006 up to 2011. So let's get started. All right, first thing first, going to have to remove these caps. There's a little securing clip on the rear. Just lift it up, and it'll just pop right off. Same thing with this one. Just going to lift it right off. Next, what we have to do is remove the cabin filter housing. It's secured with 6 8mm nuts. Make sure you keep these together. So during this time, it's a great opportunity to clean out any debris such as these leaves out. Also a great opportunity to replace the cabin filter. I don't even know what to do with this. Next, have to disconnect this sensor right here. Little tab on the side, depress it, pull it out, and release it from the housing. There's these little rubber tabs on the side. Just pull these down and out of the way. And then you have 2 more 8mm screws. And before fully removing this tray, I'm gonna have to remove this harness. Simply pull out towards you, and that should be free. You have a wiring loom right here that's still connected, and here are the clips here. You're just going to release them. And the whole tray will come out. And all right, now with a T47, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Torx bits that secure the engine cover to the valve cover. So we're going to go ahead and remove this now. Now we have exposed all of our ignition coils. We have 6 in total. Of course, the wiring loom is still kind of in the way, so you're gonna have to deal with it. But to disconnect the ignition coils, all you're gonna do is simply grab this tab, flip it up, and it'll spit out the connector. All right, now we're gonna lift the ignition coils out of the cylinder head. Now with a 16mm spark plug socket, I also recommend buying a decent extension as well because these are pretty deep. We're going to remove the old spark plugs. For cylinder 5, you're going to have to use a smaller extension unless you want to remove the strut brace, but that's kind of a hassle. All right, as you can see, this is the old spark plug right here. The center tip is the electrode, And this in between this center electrode and this outer electrode, that is called spark plug gap. But over time, what happens from constant pulses, this gap will start to increase. And as that gap increases, it becomes more difficult for the spark to go from the center electrode to this outer electrode. So as that gap increases, it requires more power, and you'll get misfires and other performance issues. Now you could technically re-gap this spark plug, but the center electrode is starting to wear down, and this outer electrode is starting to round off. So that's typical wear of any spark plug. This car's done about 70,000 miles on it. While these spark plugs are good, it never hurts to replace them. Today we'll be installing a brand new NGK spark plug. What we took out of the car was Bosch, but BMW had changed the spark plugs a couple times. If you were to buy the spark plug from the dealer today, it would be this NGK plug. So this is what we'll be installing, and it's identical to that Bosch plug. You don't need to worry about pre-gapping them, as they're pre-gapped from the factory and they have a protective sleeve in the packaging. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start threading the new spark plug in by hand. There's not a very good chance you'll cross thread a spark plug, but if you did, good luck. I'm not going to tighten these fully yet. I am going to torque them to spec, so I'm just making them tight by hand for now, and then I'll come back with the torque wrench after and make sure these are done to spec. Remember, for cylinder 5, you're going to use a shorter extension, unless you want to remove the strut brace. BMW recommends that the spark plugs be torqued to 30 Newton meters. That is going to equate to 265.1 inch-pounds of torque. I normally recommend the use of dielectric grease on ignition coils. However, on this style ignition coil, the pencil style, you really don't need it because there's a very tight connection between the spark plug and the boot. So you can use a little bit if you would like. I don't think it's necessary. If you do anything, a thin coating over the spark plug is all you would need, but like I said, with that type of seal, you're not going to really need it, so don't worry about it. Now when putting the ignition coils in, you're going to want to make sure that they seat flush. They'll sit right over the bore, and then what you do is you take the ignition coil plug. Now you're going to push it in, and you see how it's starting to hook? Once it starts to pull this lever down, you can then go ahead and bring it home. See, this is a very clear view. You keep pushing it from behind and snap it down over. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and put everything back together. You have this piece right here, which secures the engine cover. Just make sure you have all these body nuts still attached. They can come off. Simply slides over and into place. Next, we're going to reinstall the engine cover. Just simply fits right back over. All right, next we're going to reinstall the bottom of the cabin filter housing. What I recommend doing is hooking the edges first and pushing from the center. It should slide in place just like that. And then make sure the edges, the rubber seal, just like that. We're going to reinstall our two 8mm bolts. We've already installed a new cabin filter. Simply place back over. Alright, we're going to go ahead and reattach the electrical loom. That part simply slides into place. And then we take this other one right here. It clips into place just like that, slides right in. We're going to go ahead and run this electrical connector back in place. Make sure it seats. And then this hose right there, make sure that connects there. Alright everybody, that's how you do the spark plugs on the 2006 325xi. Like I said, this process is going to be fairly similar on any E90, E91, E92, or E93 3 Series, excluding the M3. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We can be reached at 877-634-0063. Thank you for watching.